one little hole to cause all that damage. So we keep blowing a fuse on the AC.
So you've got something major happening here.
Whoa! It's like a sawdust.
My guess between this and like that is they hit a tree major.
Oh. Oh, that's not tight. This one's tight. This one's tight. Alrighty, all hooked up. So I have the sumo springs installed. I don't think she's squatting as much as she used to. This is looking much better. Getting ready to go to Keystone Heights, home of RVroof.com. And it's gonna be very interesting, guys, because once we pull back the roof membrane on this RV roof, I have a feeling this is gonna be probably the worst roof that they've ever seen. So I'm very excited to kind of see what's underneath and what kind of damage has been done. I've been limping this roof along to get to this moment where we're gonna have the roof replaced, because so far there's been no leaks inside. I've done butyl tape and lap sealant and stuff to just get it by until we get it there. But this is definitely long overdue. See the moisture in the air. Quick pit stop for fuel. Use the open roads card. Get my discount. You guys remember when diesel was cheaper than gasoline? What happened? Looking good. Looking pretty good. She's squatting? Not a whole lot. Not as much as it was before. She's feeling pretty good on the road. Diesel feels less refined than gasoline, so it should, you would think it'd be less to produce. I'm not sure why it's way higher than gasoline is nowadays. That's the strangest thing. Can anybody give me directions to RVroof.com? All right, we are here. RVroof.com. Noticed Jennifer, as I was pulling right in, she was looking right at the roof, and I think I know what she's looking for.
Yeah, we knew you didn't have solar.
She wanted to make sure there's no solar panels up there. She like, first thing.
I'll come back next week with 20 solar panels.
Right. So you just went up on there. You were brave enough to climb up on. What did you come up with up there?
It's probably going to be about 4 sheets of wood for all the repairs.
Okay.
We've got super duper soft by the front AC.
Okay.
We got 3 spots on the side that it's just like sawdust. So I think 4 sheets of wood will cover everything.
Maybe not.
But we'll pull all the rubber just because there's so many iffy spots. Just make sure we don't miss anything.
Okay.
All the fixtures look fine. It looks like just
maybe some
damage.
vents and stuff that need to be replaced.
Yeah,
obviously.
I'm not even sure caps have caps.
Yeah, I know. I noticed that. Yep. This is an industrial-sized KitchenAid mixer by KitchenAid Pro, right? Is that the brand? No, I'm just kidding. Jennifer, the owner, was just mentioning to me they now are formulating all of the materials in-house. They're able to do everything now with the big KitchenAid mixer. No, not KitchenAid. KitchenAid Pro. Okay, so here's the before shot. He's saying we might need about 4 pieces of plywood. Right now he's just getting all the stuff off the roof before they start working on it. In the back corner they pulled the seal off and I'm already seeing like these screws rusty. These ones aren't, but right here in the back corner, you know, it's just a little bit of a Turnabond tape here, just covering up little holes. He said the biggest thing was there's a lot of these little pinholes like here that water seeps in. And then there's actually like kind of a tarp thing that also will make water just pool and spread. So you can see here on the roof, I'm pulling up this a little bit. Oh, exposes the wood. But this has been getting wet just because there's a little tiny hole here. Oh my goodness. Ugh.
It's just
a little bit of mold. Oh, just
those
from
two little holes right there. And you could have stopped it from getting worse, but yeah, that's all it takes is
one little hole. Right. What's the white stuff?
Fungus.
Oh.
From the wood rotting.
Okay. This one's actually still wet. You can see right here. He peeled it back, and this has got a bunch of mildew and mold.
And it just runs downhill.
And with these sloped roofs, so it's just running down here. And this is why, folks, these guys keep busy over here.
I want to pull all the rubber because spots like this are wet but aren't rotten yet. And if we spray over it, it's just going to continue to be wet. It's going to rot.
Got it. It doesn't take much. I mean, it probably does that on even new roofs, right? Yeah, easily?
Once that water gets in there, it just has such a hard time getting out. And like when you caulk over the hole, it keeps more water from coming in, but also traps all that water that's already in there. Mm-hmm. It's solid, but it's kind of swollen, which is why I saw it when I was checking it out. But if you get down here and you look, it's smooth all the way around it, and then it starts to get super bumpy. So that OSB, it's those each shard of wood is swelling individually. Yep. So if we cut this open, obviously, and there's a hole here, but so that one is starting to.
Yep. And that's why when I was stepping in some of these spots, it was just sunken in because
that's like
it was like
to the point it's sawdust. It's just This one's wet.
How'd you know that from just
when you cut it, you can feel the wood.
And there's no way to literally like you could I guess put a bigger hole and let it dry out a little bit if you want to get by for a while.
What I would probably do until you can get it actually fixed is like a Turnabond tape the rubber back afterwards and like make sure it's totally sealed. But there's just no good way to patch rubber because then the entire border of your patch can leak. What people do with the Turnabond tape is they don't prep the surface right and it doesn't stick, or they trap the water in there and then it just keeps getting worse. Like water can get in here and you can see it's wet, but it's not rotten because this is what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Since it's so open, it can dry.
Okay.
So they don't leak as bad.
But if water gets down into
that
the
just
vent,
gets into your
that's
back.
okay?
It goes into your black tank.
Oh, okay.
That's all it's for, is for venting your black tank. So you just might have more, like it fills up when it rains. So you've got something major happening here.
Whoa.
So that's why they've got a plate under there.
Oh, you know what? I think they might have rewired the ACs because it's got a salvage title on it.
My guess, something hit.
Oh, so something fell on it. So
something that fell on it, or like they hit something and they just kept dragging. See, you can see the dirt line from the original caulking. So this vent's been replaced. So whatever it was took the vent out with it.
Took the vent out. Probably took the AC out too, or what? Like, did they hit a bridge or something? Or
hit the AC. Yeah. Like I said, something either fell this way,
or
like the drug, or the AC doesn't look too different from that one.
It would have been a bigger drag line if they hit a bridge with the AC or something. It would have been worse. But
insurance companies really don't like to fix this because this is actually truss damage. It looks like, or it could be. Yeah. So your truss, we can fix the truss, but insurance companies and like actual repair facilities don't like to touch this stuff.
Okay.
That's why it felt funny walking on it. That truss is actually broken in half.
So this is actually a structural piece. Yeah. A truss for the roof.
We'll probably replace all 3 of these sheets. Just because this whole front sheet is pretty much toast. And it's just from these little holes and then it runs downhill.
Jeez.
So it's probably closer to like 5 sheets of wood.
5 sheets, okay. Oh, you were pretty close.
If it wasn't for this, it'd probably be closer to 4.
Got it.
2 for that, 1 for that, and then 2 for these. Same thing with the back. We'll probably replace these back 2 sheets.
Okay, so this is quickly a tour from the back of the RV to the front. This thing is jacked up. They cut areas in where it was leaking, and as you can see here, all this wooded area is where water intrusion was coming in just from small little holes in the rubber. Oh, look at that. And then a lot of this is actually still wet. And then here, it was just down to pretty much like wood chips. So there's not much left there. Here's where the biggest problem is. You'll see this line coming back from the AC. This is part of what the trellis, I think they call it, which is like the supporting board across that supports a roof. Look at this. Nasty, rotten wood. End of day 1. So I luckily had some gracious folks. You know who you are. Thank you guys for letting me stay at your place. So I'm going to head out here because I need to make a little run to Walmart because I had a call from Charity this morning. I had all my camera equipment out in the truck, everything I needed, except apparently I forgot one thing, and that's my clothes.
This is awkward.
Good thing we do have a second home. I checked in the RV. I do have a few of the garments. I don't have any shirts though, so I'm gonna go pick up some shirts from Walmart. In the morning,
I'm making waffles.
Is when we are going to tear off all of the wood from the roof of the RV. So the entire roof is going to get replaced with new, I can't remember the name of it, I'll put the name of it down here. And basically is going to be easier to do the whole roof. So that's what we're going to do. All right, good morning. So Home Depot just delivered the Zip Systems wood right over there. Basically, they're gonna do the entire roof. Right now, they're prepping everything to rip off all the wood on the top of the roof to get rid of everything, and then basically gonna do all the measurements, start from the back of the RV to the front. And then eventually we need to get up to that truss that's broken on the front by the front AC and figure out how to repair that, because that's like a structural piece in the roof. So that's going to be very important to take care of that. I kind of want to go see them rip off the roof and see what's underneath. I'm hoping that the insulation isn't affected. From what I've gathered, we didn't have a ton of damage coming through the roof or anything, so I don't think the water made it down through the wood, but some places it was pretty close to where it almost went through. So let's go see how really, bad it really was. Hey guys.
Hey there.
Hey.
You guys supervising? Everything going okay?
Oh yes, we have been ensuring our humans stay safe. Do you have snacks?
I don't have any treats or anything, but I do have pets.
I'll take some pets.
You're doing a good job.
Thank you.
Good job, buddy. Keep up the work, okay? Don't let anybody get away with being lazy.
Excuse me, I have to get back to work.
Make sure they're doing their work. Oh my goodness, look at that, guys. Look at that. Oh my God. Now they're just starting to rip off the fans. I do have 2 max air fans coming in, taking off the vents, ACs, then the wood's gonna come off. So what I think I might have them do is just remove the skylights completely and then put a panel over the top and then spray over, just so it's flat, because I need to have room for solar. I want a nice little run for solar panels, and the skylights, they end up spraying over completely. So I was thinking, why don't we just flatten where the skylights would go? That way I can put a panel over there and make use of the real estate, right? If you know what I mean. So that way, more panels. No, I'm not gonna have too many panels. I'm probably just gonna go a line down each side and call it good.
This is getting out of hand.
Because I don't want any payload issues. So I wanted to show you guys, this is like a little Reflectix tarp material that goes over top of the insulation, but underneath the wood. And a lot of the problem is here that you're seeing why it spreads so much is that once there's a hole in the rubber membrane, which is really thin, as you can see, look at how thin that is. It gets onto the wood, then just spreads across. And then with this nice little sealed tarp, it ends up spreading kind of across. So that's why it's so important to maintain your roof, get up on top, make sure you look for little pinholes, looks like this, that have scrapes or just even the smallest holes like this, let so much water in, as you can see here. And then this tarp just carries the water along. If you don't stay on top of them or get your roof sprayed, you're gonna have issues like this. This is just a lack of maintenance on the roof. There's the shower area where the skylight was. So built in to the existing factory RV were these fans. I heard this morning they call them the fart fans.
It's science.
This little tiny fan, you know, isn't the greatest. So I've got the 2 Max Air Fan Deluxes coming in. So I figured what I'm gonna do is just have them just spray the base in of the Max fans in here. If the Max fan ever has issues, I can just unscrew it from the base and then put a new one on, leaving the base in place.
I'm a poet and didn't even know I was rhyming those words.
So that way I never have to worry about peeling up the Max fan. It'll just drop onto the existing base. Love the Max Fan Deluxes for that.
It's a little more expensive than regular particle board.
So he's starting at the back right now, just starting to peel up the plywood from the very back. They're taking off the ladder completely. Basically, everything needs to come off so they can peel it up. And they're just gonna start slowly from the rear to the front, and eventually we'll get up to that seam and see how bad it really is. So that was close. Get that sound. There we go.
I thought there was more towards the center.
So is that just like a seam or a gutter? Or?
It's what they use to cover the seam from your walls meeting all the way down the corner.
Okay.
We're gonna have that pipe in our way, so we're pulling against.
Cut it flush.
Shower.
Yep.
There it is. All right. If you're anything like me, I just throw it down, throw it out of the RV. No, just kidding. So you put it in your little trash bin. They've got a really high-tech way of measuring. They take the back of the rubber roof and then jot down the measurements, draw pictures. A little bit upgraded from the napkin version. So they cut the pipe fittings here, and then they've got a vent cover that actually kind of moves. It goes on the inside and it moves up and down a little bit because the roof flexes. So it's a little bit better setup. This is so nasty. It's like a sawdust. Oh, so disgusting. It's just, ugh. Okay, so we've got just cut out the Max Fan vent hole and the plumbing or the sewer vent hole. Now he's just gonna line it up with the old one to make sure all the holes fit. So the question I was asking Jennifer is like the AC on the roof, like how does that get sealed, right? You're taking everything off and cutting new holes, and how is it sealed? How's the AC sealed after the roof gets sprayed? Do you have to still put silicone or something around the AC? And the answer is no.
No. So one of the few things that actually does work well with the RVs is the AC sit on a compression gasket, so it squishes down tight. So when you have a non-ducted system, like that's your AC hole out there, that big 14 by 14 open hole. So what we've always done is we spray down into that hole, sealing all of your roof wood. So that way, if you ever have your AC changed, you ever do have a problem with the actual gasket, your water might drip down on your head. You know that you have a problem with your gasket, but it never gets to your roof.
Okay.
And it also protects your roof in case you ever have your drain pan clog up. It won't get through that gasket. So we protect the roof part.
Okay.
We had a situation with a tech had replaced a AC but did not install it correctly, and so the customer called us that they had a roof leak, and in the conversation we found out the AC had been swapped out, so the roof was fine,
but it
they
wasn't.
had to readjust and retighten the AC right. The guy had not put it in right.
That's the spot that it never fails at all. Everything else is leaking or whatever, but that really
anytime you ever see any kind of damage under an AC hole in the past with just traditional methods, it's usually been that they have cut the rubber roof past that gasket. They've done something out there, but when the AC gasket is squishy and maintained and it's tightened up to the specs, you very rarely ever see damage under it.
Okay. How often do you have to replace an AC gasket? And then,
you know, we see them come in at 10, 20 years old. And when they totally get no squishiness anymore, you're supposed to change them, but I don't know what the actual recommended years are.
Okay. Here's what we have so far. The zip panels are all the way down. They've got the max air fan vents taped up. They're gonna spray kind of around here. They've got it masked off so they can spray down in here a bit. And then they're putting up another zip systems board. And then this is where the truss is. So we need to figure out what's going on with that. I don't know if they replaced it yet. He basically put in a piece of wood and glued it down. So now it's got structure here, and then they're gonna just finish putting the zip board down.
Your front truss right on underneath your front end cap on the fiberglass is completely popped loose.
Oh. All right.
Yeah, the nail plate, they only had like one or two, and
oh my goodness.
It's pretty soft wood, so it just ripped out.
So just
but we can just re-screw it.
You screw it down there. Okay, well good. They did not put in a piece of insulation here, and so they're going to cut a piece just to put in there, just to make sure we have insulation across the whole spot. It's the non-standard size spot. It just didn't get it.
Make sure that center line's lined up, and then tack it down in the middle. Right here. Screw right there.
All the old wood and the trash. He's just gonna put some screws on that to suck that down in there. I love the sound of a good impact drill.
Ain't going nowhere now.
No. So this is still a little bit wet, so they're using a fan to just kind of dry this area before they put the board over it. These are the new plumbing vents that go down in there. So this fits down inside of inside of there.
Yep.
Okay.
It's inside of there, and then as you can tell, this knob right here, we always want to make sure it's facing towards the back, so it's not in the, covering up these up, so when we actually spray it, it's not in the way, so we can actually screw it in.
Got it. Okay.
Always just make sure it's sitting up like that.
All right. So we put some new insulation in there. Now they're putting the board on it.
You find that right one there.
Beautiful, like you've done it before.
We put this side trim in here before we spray, and it's because it makes a better finish, because you have this lip. So when you try to spray, this is ugly.
Okay.
And if you ever had to replace this sidewall for some reason, it is really difficult to get the chemical off. You know, if we're bonded to all this, it would be a nightmare. So we clean all this. When screws are rusted, need to be changed, we change all that, and then we'll put back this trim. And a lot of people worry about it working out or anything later. But because we've sprayed it in, gotten it out of the UV, it doesn't shrink or deteriorate anymore.
Okay.
So we've never had it work out. We've never had a problem. Then, if you do have sidewalls and they need to get to the screws, they have an obvious line that they can cut the coating, and they're able to get hold of this plastic, and your screws are easily accessible.
So it's not spraying the screws in to where you can't do anything later if you need to. I actually just saw an RV strap roll that had the whole rear back
So,
wall removed. And
This
so,
actually, not only does it give a better finish for the customer, it would make it easier if you ever did need to get hold of them, and it makes it an easy place for us to blend in your line when we respray it.
okay. So the other question they were asking me this morning is like, do they spray all the way down to the gutter?
Yes, we
you,
stop right here in the bottom.
Oh, wow, so
bottom,
literally
yeah.
underneath
Your
this.
gutter will still work, but we're down here.
Wow,
underneath
so
it.
literally
Trim
it's
insert.
like you're covering everything that could potentially seep in water.
Yes. So
Okay.
you don't have to worry about it going down in your sidewall. We're all the way down there, but your gutter still works. And this will look nice, and it's still accessible if you
Okay.
ever needed any body work.
All right, he's bringing in the Max Air fans that came from E-Trailer. So these are the Max Fan Deluxes, which is what you guys recommend also, right?
Yes, they work well, and if you ever break it, you don't have to come back and get anything resprayed.
Because this you spray in, right? This,
Yeah.
this
We
bottom
spray the base in.
base.
And then the whole fan will come out if you ever have to replace it.
That way you just unscrew this part here and it lifts up off the base. And the base is already sprayed in, so you're not going to you just pop in the new part and you don't have to bring it back to have them respray it. So, and this is the base here. No, underneath here is the base that you pull in. So this is what you spray in?
This is what we spray.
Oh, no,
This
you
is your
spray
trim
that.
for the inside.
Okay, got it.
So we'll just pop this in the
Pop
hole.
that on there.
Make sure it fits. We'll center it up,
Okay.
screw it down, and mask it off, and I'll put all this in the box.
And you just spray like up to here then?
Yeah, so we spray right here to the top because
Okay.
we don't want to interfere with that gasket.
Yep.
That's how the vent seals down. So it'll be all the way up there, and then the vent sits down on that gasket, and then it's held on with those 4 screws.
Okay. If you ever do get intrusion, it's from
It's
wind,
like
the
driving
wind
rain, yeah.
blowing it through here occasionally.
Like if it's open, because there's also a gasket inside the lid too. So when this opens, you can kind of see it in there. So there's a gasket.
Oh,
You can see
okay.
it right
Yep.
here. So that gasket seals to the top when it's closed, but when it's open, driving rain can come up, just like a vent cover.
Yep.
So lots of wind, you might get some water intrusion, but most
Not
of the
much.
time,
Yeah,
I think
we've had it happen once during
yeah,
a
you guys had it
hurricane.
during a hurricane.
That's it.
But we double checked everything and it was all sealed.
Yep. I was looking at this skylight here, and I'm wondering like what we were gonna do with that. And so now that we did all new zip board, they were able to literally remove the skylight and board over it. So now, look at this. Look at this, guys. I've got a whole area right here. I can put a solar panel on. It's about making real estate for solar. And then there's going to be no heat coming in down below here because the skylight's gone and covered with board. And then he did the same thing on the other skylight. He just removed it out of there, and we're just going to cover it with board. We're not, and then everything's going to be sprayed over. So the best thing to do is to spray it over the skylight if you can. But if you're going to do a new roof, you might as well just remove the skylight, and so you have more flat surface to lay solar panels on. So I picked up a junction box. That way, when we do put some solar up here, the RVroof folks could spray it in. So what they're going to do is spray underneath it, then what they're going to do is screw it down and then spray around it up to here to where it's completely like sprayed in. So that way the only failure point is the gasket, which is underneath here. So I'll have to just make sure I maintain the gasket on the junction box. So I mean in the screws and everything, but water will come down off the side and drip down. There'll be no leaking at all. So I'm gonna just have that in place so we can have an entry point for wires. All right, good news. So every inch of the roof of this RV has brand spanking new wood all along the whole top of the RV, all the way to the front cap. That there, folks, is a brand new roof. And then now it's gonna be sprayed over. So I am never gonna have to maintain my roof again. Oh yeah, it's a good sound. I hear the bigger screws are biting. Is it working?
Yeah, you're back flat. Closed
Nice.
now.
So no more. Oh, look at that, man!
And you can still see like right here,
You're
still
awesome.
got a gap. I haven't put
Yeah,
any screws there yet.
Let me show that. Yeah, so there, literally, I can stick my fingernail up in there.
Your other side's also bad. It's the same thing.
Oh, so you can literally see my finger goes up in there. So potentially, look, oh, fingers are up in there. So if it's raining, and you're driving down the road, it could blow up in here, get up under, and water potentially could get up in there. So right now he is looking at all the solar panel measurements. Since I was unable to get a panel and a Z-bracket to bring down here to actually lay it out, what Derek helped me do is create like a measurements from a panel and a Z-bracket that he had. So he cut out the cardboard, put the Z-bracket down, and he gave me the measurements across from each of those, the cardboard cutout, and took a picture and sent it to me. So he's actually doing all the calculations and measuring exactly where I can put each of the panels based on the exact layout.
These marks are like where the edge of your solar panel is going to be.
Okay.
Your solar panels are like just shy of 60 inches, so all these marks are 60 inches apart.
Okay.
Just so I can kind of map out like how many you can fit.
Got it.
You have to have a bit of a space here. If you had 8 more inches before this sewer fixture, you'd be able to fit one more right here, but it's just too small.
Got it.
So there's a space right here, but then it starts again just about to your ladder.
Okay.
And I'm about to do that side right now to figure out how many we can fit.
Okay. He is in the shop, getting work on. That one's missing the roof there on the top. Good morning, good morning. So today is going to be a big day. This is going to be where the most transformation is on the RV. They're actually going to be spraying the roof this morning. So they've got all the wood on there. Everything has been prepped, ready to spray. So now is when they spray on the coating of the roof. And then after that, they'll go over with like the white spray that has the UV protectant layer on it. So this is my favorite part of the actual build, because you can actually see some good transformation and see how thick they're spraying it on. Putting on like a new seal, because mine was brittle and kind of cracking and falling off. The brand new one that they'll spray right over. He's just covering everything up, getting ready to spray. You can't like see, I can't get too close to this stuff. These are the bolts sticking up out of the ground that were for all the solar panels, but this is kind of their proprietary setup here that allows them to spray in the entire roof to where the bolts sticking up are completely sealed. If you're going to get solar panels put in place, get them in place first, or get the mounts in place before you bring it up here. But put their mounts in place so that way you can put the Z-bracket right on top of that and screw it on with a nut. Got the junction box all ready to be sprayed. They masked off where they're not gonna spray, and then have something here to help it adhere to the roof. So we're gonna spray the roof down, and then after that dries, put this down and then spray again, so that way it's fixed onto the roof. And the sides are all ready to be sprayed. It's gonna spray down all the way down past the gut, past this seal, right to here. So he just sprayed right where the box is gonna go, just to get that in and let that dry, and then he's gonna place it also. Very cool. So what you can see right here is they sprayed in all the solar panel mounts, and then they'll go back and spray the entire roof. This stuff is hot. I can feel the heat coming off of this. Nice and hot. Look at that. Look at that seal. No water is ever gonna get through here again. Can you move the box the other way? Just kidding.
I could.
Messing with you.
It's not gonna be pretty.
You should have seen the way you looked at me. That was hilarious. So one question I was asking Jennifer here on this Ask the Expert segment, a lot of people have questions on the gutter, right? So is the gutter still going to work after they spray, right?
Yes.
And then two, where does a lot of the damage come from? What causes a lot of the damage, and you know, where does a lot of the damage happen that maybe a lot of people don't know about?
These corners, especially fifth wheels and travel trailers, the water dams up on these corners where all these trims come together and the caulking's there. So water ponds, caulking lets it seep in. And like Lisa was just telling Ben, when people think they don't even have a leak, and almost every time we open them up, there's damage in the four corners. And because it's OSB typically and that aluminum foil, like you saw when we opened up your roof, the water just slowly spreads and it crumbles. And it's usually the corners. That's the most common. No tree punctures, nothing.
So as you saw, there is some tree punctures, and you saw what happens when you don't treat those right away, and how many spots there can be.
But these are like the hidden one that gets a lot of people.
And then you can see this area right here on the side where it pulls down, and all the way it follows the whole seam back too.
It sits there.
And it just sits there, and that nice little Reflectix or tarp stuff just lets it run, right? Just like everything else we're seeing on the RV floor, the tarp that goes underneath the floor. Now this isn't going to be a problem. We're not going to have flow issues.
Water can stay here as long as it wants. It'll never go through this.
All right, looking good so far. What are we doing?
They're gonna pull the wires.
Okay.
And through your water, cut all your edges, and then put the white UV top coat on it, and then it'll sit overnight, and they'll put it together in the morning.
Okay.
And you'll be out of here by noon.
Got it. So that UV top coating, it's a white coating, because the roof is actually gray in the spray, right? If you don't have the top coating, then it wouldn't repel any of the sun.
The white helps with that cooler temperatures because of the reflecting value. It's an added layer of UV, because even though this is extremely UV resistant, the white is even more UV resistant that we put on. So it just helps. That's why we do the lifetime warranty. It helps just make sure it outlasts your camper. Just kind of combining all of those things to extend the life as long as possible without you having to do anything special. You can pressure wash it, you can scrub it, you can bleach it. You're getting our high gloss top coat that we can't always use. It doesn't like to dry in cooler temperatures, so you're probably one of the last ones this year. It'll stay really clean just in the rain.
It's the best thing for like Florida. Every once in a while, I notice we got mold and kind of mildewy stuff. What's the best thing to clean on that? Typically,
we use simple green a lot around here.
Simple green, just spray it with that, and then wash it off.
Because it doesn't hurt your sides much like bleach and stuff would.
Okay. So that cuts. It pulls a string to make a nice sharp cut. Nice clean cut on the gutter. All right. So basically, when they pull it off, it's gonna pull it nice. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that cut. That's pretty. So let's go see what this roof looks like. We got both the roof and the UV coating sprayed on. Oh my goodness, look at this, guys. This is insane. It looks beautiful. Nice and white and sealed up. The entire roof is done. So we are done for today. Tomorrow morning at around 9, the guys are gonna start putting everything back on. Put the AC, the max fans. Take a look at this. So I can pull this off. And I kind of got it there. He can brush that. Sorry, man. If you pull this off, you can see there's the little bolt. Pop this off to screw on the solar panel. That is awesome. So super excited on what the roof looks like. The functionality is awesome. This thing is going to be completely sealed, even with the solar panels on. So tomorrow, basically, let's see if we can get everything back on okay. I'm going to give you the big reveal pulling out of here and show you what the roof looks like before and after. Good morning, good morning. So just pulled up here to RVroof, and this is the last day, guys, that the RV will be in this shop. So today they're basically going to just put together everything, put the ACs back on, install the max air fans that we got from E-Trailer. Now that they're sprayed in and on the base, they have the new revised and modified, updated vent caps that they're going to put on that are much better than the original factory ones, which weren't there. So they're definitely going to be a lot better. So anytime it rained, it was just filling up the black tank. All in all, I'm actually very, very excited to have this roof completely sealed and never have to maintain it again. I was a little bit worried coming in, pulling in, that I was going to pull up and they were going to look at this and be like, I don't know if we can do anything with this, and this is the worst roof that we've ever seen. But being here as long as they have and doing this for, going through all these RVs, it was pretty bad. As you saw, all the spots that water had come in. I really hope this video shows you guys kind of what it could potentially look like if you don't maintain your roof, and give you an idea of kind of the before and after of what the process looks like and kind of how thick it is when they spray. I do have a piece of the roof that it kind of shows how thick it is, and I'm gonna do a little freezer test with this to see kind of how this holds up when in cold weather, even though we're never going to be in cold weather because Charity would never let that happen. That test will come here shortly, and I'm gonna go back in there and check out the process of them putting everything back on, and then we will give you the big reveal driving out of the shop. So I'm kind of excited to see what this new roof looks like now that it's been completely sealed and sprayed white with the UV coating. So let's go take a look. Wow, look at that. That is amazing. Look at that. I'm gonna walk up on here and check it out from the top. The box is all sprayed in now. That's gorgeous. Just gorgeous. Trying to even cut it with the knife and barely can cut through it.
This is
pretty thick.
And it's just the overspray part.
Wow. That's satisfying.
Between the white and the blue,
Yeah.
that's how thick it is.
Oh my gosh.
It's just easier to look at this than trying to bend down and
bend
look
down
up
in
at
there.
the...
So he's putting on the new Max Fan Deluxe. So as you can see, these are sprayed in here completely. So all he has to do is just pop that down in the hole, screw it in on the side. He's wired it up. And so if this ever goes bad or I need a new one, I just unscrew the 4 bolts, pop it off, put it back on. I don't have to do anything around the side here as far as like taking up butyl tape or lap sealant or anything and resealing it or anything. Never have to worry about that. All right, this one works. Switch is already on by default, so.
Most of them are.
Yeah.
Unless they've got like the one
That
where you've
little-
got the 2 separate controllers. Shut her down in there.
Ooh-wee. Here we've got some new vent covers that they'll put on. Nice, thick flex armor ones that they've 3D printed. front cap, getting all the plastic off to make it look all nice and pretty. Are the seals on those pretty good still?
On the gaskets?
Yeah, the gaskets.
They're brand new.
Oh, they're new?
Yeah, they're brand new.
Okay. Gotcha.
Ford? Yep.
Okay, so you put a sealant on before you put it down. I didn't know you
Yeah,
did that. That's a good idea.
put that on that way in case someone forgets to tighten their bolts.
Yep. There's a stopgap measure. So this is the gasket that came with this junction box. So I'm going to just kind of push this down in there, and then we'll end up drilling down there, and then I'll probably get the waterproof electrical deals that come in through the side that waterproof any of the wiring. And then on the top of this, I'll put a Peplink antenna that'll go down to the Peplink router. So it's kind of serves as a dual purpose, and it's completely waterproof sealed. In there without my shoes on, so I don't. It's so nice and clean that I don't want to jack it up. Look at this. Okay, just about done. The guys are inside putting back together the under part of the AC and the vent covers that go on the inside of the RV. They painted with this Flex Armor gloss white stuff around the vents so that they look nice and everything looks white and uniform. They also put in some silicone, well, not silicone, some sealant around the cap area so water doesn't pool up in there. And they're sending me with all the hardware, so the bolts and the lock washers and nuts and everything that go on the solar mount. And that way I can just put them on when I'm ready to get the panels on there. And then all the solar wiring will go into the box. It'll be a nice clean setup. You know, basically we'll never have to come back on the roof again. So we keep blowing a fuse on the AC, and basically, so pictures weren't taken when the AC was lifted off, so not sure exactly the way the wiring was set, and I haven't had the AC apart to know the way the wiring should be. So I know the person before us had replaced the controllers on the ACs, or at least one of them. Definitely probably the one that got torn off, the roof that hit the bridge, and that's the one we're trying to figure out the wiring, because it could have been maybe a different diagram for that controller. They're in there working on it, trying to figure it out. I'm sure they've dealt with this before, so they know a little bit more than I do. So I actually took a pic this morning up on top, just because I know I take a picture of everything now, because I learned the lesson the hard way. So I brought that into them, and there was a couple wires that were disconnected or switched around, so he changed those around. Now he's looking at the second AC right now just to see if there's anything disconnected or anything like that. So hopefully I can get back on the road here pretty soon. That is one thing I wanted to add. Just these people are just the most amazing people. Jennifer, David, and her kiddos, super nice people, very thorough. It's actually 1:26 and they haven't even gone to lunch yet, and they're sitting here trying to figure out this wiring situation on the AC. So that just tells you how much they care about getting you in and out versus even taking a lunch, so kind of feel bad for him. This is David, the owner of RVroof.com, and are you retired now or not? Because you're still working, I know this.
I'm supposed to be retired, but I'm here just about 7 days a week.
I want to know, what are the best quality roofs that you've seen come through here and the worst quality roof?
They're really basically all built the same. I can tell you some of the good points about some and some of the bad points about some.
Okay.
A Newmar Class A, it's got aluminum trusses every 16 inches, and they're strong enough you can walk on them. A Redwood fifth wheel has aluminum trusses, and if you step on it without wood, you will bend it.
Okay.
You know, so there's good and bad in all of them. Bad thing about a Newmar, they got the bolts on the outside of the gasket.
On the AC, basically, yep.
Yeah, you always have wet, you know, rotten wood around the ACs on the Newmars.
Okay.
Very, very common. And a lot of times the owner doesn't even know it because it's underneath the air conditioner. You can't even tell until it's spread.
Fiberglass, a lot of people say you don't need to get an RV roof done on a fiberglass. Is that true?
I've heard that so much. The main leak points is the caulking joints, not the fiberglass, but the fiberglass does crack. There's mainly two different fiberglass. There's one that has a slick surface, it's the better one.
Okay.
The one that has the textured surface is Phylon, and it's bad about cracking on the radiuses.
Little micro cracks.
Yeah, and it's hard to see the cracks.
Okay.
We do just as many fiberglass roofs as we do rubber roofs.
Okay, interesting. And then what's the most common question, like one or two questions you get from people a lot that they don't quite understand about these?
You're sure there's no maintenance, you know, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, that's what, like on the gutters and around the ACs, no lap sealant needed on those at all, ever? How do you clean them? What's the best way to clean them?
We've washed many of them with a pressure washer.
Okay.
Gets under a tree, you're going to get some acid stain from the leaves, and they can be hard to get off, but you can use any common cleaner and a pressure washer.
Okay, so just any type of, give me an example of like a good common
simple green
or a degreaser, purple power, and then just spray it off with a pressure washer.
But make sure you get it off the sides of your camper too.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Or you could stain something.
Yes. So after you spray the roof, get the side.
Sure,
Okay. All right, and then you can get down with the pressure washer pretty close.
Yep. Just don't stick it in a seam.
In the seam. Okay.
Like like if you didn't spray over a skylight, so you got that seam right there, you wouldn't want to hit that seam with.
Okay.
3,000 pounds of pressure or something.
Right. Okay. Cool. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So we weren't able to get the main slide that they patched in right there sprayed because there wasn't enough room to spray on the top, because obviously when you do spray it does get a little bit thicker. So Jennifer did send me home with a gallon of some stuff that I can try to put on there to, you know, seal up the whole slide. So I'm gonna give that a try in a later video. So be sure you subscribe and like this video if you've enjoyed this process and want to be shown more of the videos that are coming up, because we've got a few doozies. Okay, so the guys figured out what was going on with the AC. So they pulled the thermostat, and the thermostat, it has butt connectors going from the thermostat to the AC with different colored wires. So apparently what happened was the previous owner, and I'm assuming it's when that AC got torn off the roof, when they changed that out, they put in new wires. So they basically had to match those up and kind of cross-reference the wires from the back of the thermostat to the AC. And then, so what I'm gonna do is take pictures now, just so I know if I ever need to, you know, do any work in there, I'll have that. So we're up and running. Now just pulling all the scaffolding right now, and we're gonna be pulling out here. All right, got her hooked up, ready to head on out. Bend it in half and crack it.
I'm trying to.
All right, crack it. Come on, man. Just crack it.
It's not breaking.
Bend it in half and crack it.
What?